Oop. We are live. K&K Sports Show, October 1st, 2025. Here with my good friend, Kurt Valenti. Kurt, how you doing tonight?
I am doing well, my friends. Big victory on Monday night. And listen, big one coming up on Sunday. We're going to see if we're for real. We're going against the champs, the best team in football. And let's go.
Yep. And Scoops, welcome, Scoops, Ryan
Thank
Scoops
you.
Woodhams. What's the scoop? What's
Yes,
going on, my friend? How are you doing? Welcome to the show, and thanks for filling in for our good friend Paul tonight.
Yes, sir. Good to see y'all. Thanks for I really appreciate y'all having me on. Good to see everybody. And yeah, we're gonna have a fun night. Loved the agenda that you sent, and looking forward to getting into every bit of it.
We got one guy coming in a little late. That's Carson. He's running a couple minutes behind schedule. But behind the scenes, our producer, Graham. Graham, how you doing, my friend?
Doing good. Season is going by pretty fast, actually, in the NFL.
Nice. And I'm getting some background noise from somebody, just so you all know. I don't know who it is, if it's Graham or Scoops. I know it's not me. Kurt, you?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
No, I hear it too.
It shouldn't be from me. What do you know? What you're like? What are you
Hearing
hearing?
TV or something.
Oh yeah, that would.
All right, we're good.
All right, we're good. All right, fellas, let's get started. We got a lot to talk about in an hour. We got baseball going on now. We're going to let people give them a chance to come on in, hang out for a little bit. So we're going to do baseball a little later. We got college football and NFL before that. And this week's college football talk, I got a little overrated, underrated with you guys. Heather Dinich. Know her from ESPN Sports, college sports. Not pleased with the AP Top 25, Kurt and Scoops. Florida State dropping 10 spots in the polls after their loss to Virginia. So I got some teams, but first I'm going to ask both of you, Florida State, then I'm going to give you guys a team, and you just tell me, I'm going to ask you if they're overrated or if they're unrated. So, Kurt, Florida State, is she right to be upset with this drop-off after losing to Virginia?
You know what? Their big win was who? Notre Dame, right? That's their big. That's
Alabama.
I'm sorry, Alabama. That's you know what? Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, listen, I know UVA was unranked and stuff like that, but you go in there on a Friday night. It's a night. Listen, any road games are tough, right? To win on the road. So you know what? I'm sorry. Like I see some of these other teams like not dropping too far. You know what? No, listen, and they can get everything right back, and they play your boys this weekend, right? So yeah, she is right. I don't think they should have dropped that much. That's a hard place to play is Virginia, a very hard place to play. So yes.
Yep. Scoops, how about, let me ask you this, and then we'll get to the teams I got on the list. Florida State, they dropped 10 spots. A couple years ago, they get screwed by the committee when there was a playoff of 4 and Jordan Travis got hurt. Undefeated don't make.
And we might have lost Mr. Kirkpatrick. He's frozen right out of the gate.
The playoffs. It sounds like they got it in for.
Kenny, you cut out for a period of time. Do you mind repeating the question, please?
Yeah, you were frozen a little bit, Kenny. And Kenny is frozen again. So I'm not sure where he was going with the question. It was something from Florida State. Let me just ask. I'll ante you up on one. I'm going to go above. What's up, Carson? How are you?
How you guys doing? What's up?
Good to see you.
What's up, Ryan? How you doing? What's up, guys?
Scoops, was that the biggest Alabama win in a long time?
I definitely think it was. It definitely was one of them. But I also think, and this is something that I don't know how much attention it got for people who didn't actually like watch the game itself. But for a while, there was. I mean, we all know coming into this year, we didn't have Milroe anymore. We didn't know what was going to be the situation at quarterback. We didn't love what we saw right out the gate coming with the passing game with pardon me, with Simpson. I think what was perhaps the bigger win than actually the win in the standings and the win that obviously allowed them to get moved back up into the rankings. I think I saw them 10th and 11th respectively in the two rankings that I saw, but was the seeming sort of come here or I'm here moment from Ty Simpson, the quarterback. He showed that he's able to handle a game that not only goes up against a significant opponent. We got another one coming up. We got Vanderbilt 5-0 coming up on just a few days here. We all know that teams from Tennessee for some reason seem to play Alabama tough, but he's got a rating so far this year of over 141 against top 25 opponents, which he's had multiple against. He's got multiple touchdowns. Current completion percentage is over 63%, and I think some of those things are even more important to note than the win itself. Is knowing that, okay, maybe people like myself who were cynical or skeptical of what Ty Simpson could bring, that we may be in better hands than we thought with him leading the offense.
Oh, I'm sorry, Kenny. You I went on a little different route because I wasn't sure where you were going with that one. So
you're fine. You're fine. I want to say hello to Rob Neely on my feed here. Kurt, say, let's go, Big Red. Even Tiki Barber would say Virginia is tough to play. Carson, how you doing? Welcome to the show.
Good What's up, guys? How are you doing? Sorry, I was running a little late, but hopefully you guys are having a great night.
You're fine. You're fine. All right. So where I'm going in this, I'm getting a lot of feedback from somebody. I'm sorry, I don't know who it is. I'm not gonna be able to do this if I got feedback. I can't hear myself. All right. College football. What I want to do real quick hitter, rapid fire, because I want to get to NFL and Major League Baseball. Are this team overrated, Kurt, or underrated? Vanderbilt, number 16, facing Alabama. Probably the first time Vanderbilt's ever been ranked this high in their life. I don't remember them being that high. Undefeated. Are they a little overrated at 16?
I'm going to say no, but check back with me next week because they're going to get tested this week versus Bama. So we'll see. But no.
And this, Carson, this all has to do with Heather Dinich, ESPN college football analyst, not happy with Florida State dropping all the way to 17. So I found some teams, and I want to know if they're overrated or underrated. So I'm going to give I got one for Scoops. I'm going to give him Texas A&M Oklahoma at number 4, Scoops. They beat Kurt's Auburn Tigers, but they're undefeated at 5-0. What do you think of Oklahoma at 4? They
did. I watched that game too against the Tigers. I don't think they're particularly overrated. Again, they've had 3 very significant wins so far. So we'll see the rest of they got a game that they should win this week against Kent State. So we'll see.
Gotcha. Let's go with Carson. Big Ten, Indiana. They had a huge win against Illinois. They're all the way up to number 8. Overrated or no?
It's hard to say. I mean, they got that big win over Illinois a couple weeks ago. They just going into Iowa on the road is impressive. I don't care what team or what record you are. So that's a big win as well. I wouldn't really qualify them as a top 10 team just yet. I think they're more like in the 15 to 20 range. So I'll say like they're right in the middle of the pack. Not really overrated, but not really underrated either.
Let's do a couple more. Kurt, I'll stick in the SEC with you. I'm going to give you you and Scoops a lot of SEC teams. Tennessee at 15, a little overrated for Tennessee?
No. Again, should they have won? Should they have beaten Georgia? Yeah, but again, you're playing Georgia. You're in the SEC. Teams are not going to go undefeated. You're not in these little Mickey Mouse conferences. You're playing legit teams every week. So I'm going to say no. They're a top 15 team.
I'll give Scoops this one. ACC, Georgia Tech is now ranked number 17. Now, they played an extra game. They played week 0, and they're undefeated. Are they a little underrated maybe at 17?
I think that's a fair argument. They're definitely one of the quote unquote smaller or at least less schools that we see less of typically that's been up there. And actually, one poll had them go up and one had them go down. So it doesn't seem like there's even much consensus as to where to have them in the AP and college polls, or AP and coaches polls, excuse me.
Yeah. All right. One more, Kurt. And I'm going to give you this one because it's Jenny Hoops. 24. They're on the top 25. Do they deserve to be there? A little underrated maybe at 24, or should they be ranked a little higher?
They're definitely a top 25 team. I mean, they lost. Their only loss was, I think, a late game. I think it was at NC State. And listen, they put up, hey, Elliott's doing a good job over there. You just beat Florida State, who whipped up on Alabama. Absolutely, they're top 24 teams. I don't know if they should be higher than that. I mean, their defense isn't, they're not going to live on beating teams, 40 to 30 every week. I mean, that's going to catch back up. That's not football. But for now, they should be in the top 25. Yeah.
Our good friend Clayton on my feed. Hey, guys, smash the like button. Young Paul in the building, I see again today. He's calling Scoops Young Paul.
Yeah.
Looks a little like. All right, let's move on because college football is the least important this week. So I got 3 games, top 3 games of the week. I actually have 4 games. I got us each to pick a game. I'm going to let Scoops pick the first one here. I think I know where he's going to go. Number 16, Vanderbilt and Alabama. Scoops, who do you like in this game? I don't think we need to go too far into it. I think.
Well, I just want to be clear. Are you asking me ATS or outright? Okay.
Outright.
That's what I thought. I got to go with my boys with Bama. If this game were at Vanderbilt, I might go Vanderbilt.
Yeah. Okay. I like that. Bama this is Vanderbilt's test right here. They're a national TV game. They never get this much recognition. I think the spotlight's going to be too much for them. Kurt, same with SEC. I mean, there's not many big games on this slate this week. Mississippi State, surprising Mississippi State at surprising Texas A&M.
Yeah, I think this is where we're not going to be surprised anymore. I think Mississippi State, you're playing a different team this week. A&M is physical, right? Like they are explosive. They make some big plays, but you watch that Auburn game. That was a low scoring game. Their defense was phenomenal and they could run the ball. So they got a little of that bully ball in them. So I'm going to take A&M. Yeah.
Like it, Kurt. Carson, I'm going to give you the Big Ten game of the week, in my opinion. It's your boys, even though they got, beat up by USC. I think this is the Big Ten game of the week. Michigan State at Nebraska.
Yeah, this is a really interesting matchup here. You got Nebraska and Michigan State both looking for a huge win, coming off of both terrible losses off the bye week. Michigan, taking down Nebraska, and then Michigan State getting blown up by USC. So these are two teams that are trying to build their programs around. It's a 4:00 game at Nebraska, so that's a big matchup for both of these teams, and a lot of criticism, regardless for either way. You've got Jonathan Smith, who's trying to get back, to the playoffs, get to a reputable bowl game. Same with Matt Rule, who's been under a lot of fire as well. So it's a big game for both programs. So Nebraska's the favorite, 11.5. So we'll see what happens here. But I like the Spartans to cover. I think we'll be ready.
I think Spartans maybe got outside shot at an upset there. I liked what I saw a little bit early in the game against USC. So I do think they got a shot here. I'm going to take Miami FSU, Miami at Florida State. Miami got 1 vote for number 1 team. Can you imagine? Over Ohio State and Oregon. That surprised me. But their schedule, they beat Florida, they beat South Florida, they beat Notre Dame. 3 teams that were in the top 25. So this is their 4th team in the top 25 out of 5 weeks. So, of course, Bethune-Cookman was just a scrimmage. But this is going to be really, really tough. And Florida State, they feel they're being screwed by the AP poll once again this year. And Mario Cristobal in big games is like James Franklin's twin brother. Scares me to death. If I was a betting person, I would take FSU, but the fandom in me is going to take the Hurricanes, and maybe this is our year, and he can overcome that hump and win the big game because He's been winning the game so far this year. He's got a defense. Run behind that offensive line. Carson Beck looks like one of the top quarterbacks in college football. Let's go on the road, Tallahassee. And you know how Joey Clams likes to do, oh. Well, we're going to do it this way. Oh. And the Hurricanes are in town. Let's go, and let's get it done.
Nice.
I am confused what's going on here tonight, guys. I'm not going to lie.
No, Kenny, that's 1 second.
This is a blooper reel tonight. I love it. All right. Anything else college football, guys? We're going to get into the main course now. That was just like one of those okay appetizers, but we got the main course now. And the main course is starting with Carson's Corner. We got some NFL.
Yeah, thanks, Kenny. Yeah, so a couple things I wanted to throw on here for the agenda. We can kind of go rapid fire with a couple of these here. But a quick one I wanted to kind of bring up here. Romeo Doubs, he had a big game against the Cowboys that'll be kind of correlated to my next question with the way the game ended. But he does wear that protective helmet, and he had a big day. He had 3 touchdown receptions and a big game for the Packers. So my question to you guys is, do you think more NFL players should opt into this? I know it's an optional thing that they can do, but especially with all these injuries, you know, concussion, knee, leg, whatever it is, football is a really dangerous game. So, I mean, if you can protect yourself in any given way possible, you got to think about your life after football. And it starts with, first of all, protecting your head. So listen, they might look silly. They might look a little ridiculous, but hey, you know, if it's going to potentially, you know, save an injury or two, I'm all for it. You know, I could care less what the jerseys and the helmets look like. If it's about the health and safety of the players, I think more and more players next year are going to adapt to this. So do you guys think that should happen? Should they implement it instead of being optional, maybe a little bit more mandatory, more stricter rules on it? Or do you not really think it's a huge deal? Ryan, what's your thoughts on it?
I definitely, I don't really see the downside to doing it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, typically requiring certain behaviors to me is, I don't know. There just seems to me like that typically comes with, what's the word? Like setting precedent that I try and see, you know, where that's going to go down the road. And so that's always why I'm saying, you know, requiring this or banning this, those are always like, you know, black and whites that I'm always a little bit difficult on. But I mean, you start looking around at guys like my boy Tua Tagovailoa down in Miami and, you know, others. I think that it would be very seemingly pretty advisable for them to do so. And I would struggle to kind of see the argument against them wanting to do so. But, you know, again, I don't know. You know, I've never worn one, so I don't know if there's reasons why players like maybe test them and decide not to wear them. But I mean, it seems to me pretty cut and dry from what I do know that I would at least strongly recommend players to wear them, especially as somebody who's had multiple closed head injuries myself.
For sure. Kenny, what are your thoughts on the cap helmet wearing? Do you think more players should adapt to it like Romeo Doubs has, or it's not a huge deal?
No, I think it is a huge deal. And Scoops mentioned a couple players, you know, he said Tua Tagovailoa. Look at the serious concussions he had. I feel there should be a league rule and or team rule. If you get if you have a concussion, you got to wear this cap.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, quarterbacks especially, you know, Tua is an injury away from his career being over. Wear the cap. You know, I don't care what it looks like. It doesn't look terrible. Who cares what it looks like? They wear them. And what gets me, Carson, is they wear them on during training camp and practice.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's a lot of the players are wearing them there. Well, why not wear them in the game when you got full contact? Why are you doing it when it's practice and it's not full contact? That's what gets me. But the teams, like use the Dolphins as an example, they should be implementing that team rule, making it mandatory for him to wear that protective cap, because he goes down, it could be career ending. but players in general, if they have a concussion, I think they need to go and wear the cap if you got concussed.
For sure. We'll kind of keep this kind of correlated to Romeo Dobbs. Cowboys and Packers, phenomenal football game, Sunday Night Football. Game went into overtime, and the game ended at a 40-40 tie, which, by the way, is Scorigami. There's a Twitter account called Scorigami, and the guy basically keeps track of all the unique NFL scores of all time, and that was Scorigami. So that was always great to see. But, 40-40 tie ball game, guys. Are we a fan of the tie? Do we like the tie? Do you wish there would have been like a second, third overtime? Or do you think in the future they might adopt like a college football rule, which this would make the most sense to me? You play a full 10-minute period in overtime, and then if at the end of the overtime period, if it's still tied, you exchange 2-point conversions, and whoever doesn't meet the other team, that's the winner of the football game. Because I just feel like it's not fair to those players who work their rear ends off all throughout the year, training camp. The fans, they're waiting. They got Sunday night. They're looking forward to their teams. And when you just kind of shake hands and it's a tie football game, there isn't really a winner. It doesn't really seem like that's the NFL to me. So do you guys kind of like my idea? Maybe in the future they could adopt a college football exchange 2-point conversion mentality, or what's your guys' thoughts on the ties? We'll go to Ryan again.
Okay, hi. Yeah, I did not like the ties at all. I'm not a fan of ties in general in sports. I think that the NCAA is probably the closest that I could come to a reasonable idea, but I've just never you don't have ties for playoff games or whatever. And I understand that playoffs are the playoffs, but I've never liked the mentality that, oh, now these are the games that really matter. Like, no, treat every game like it matters and let's go. And from another show that I'm on a couple times a week, I'll just say we were all pretty unhappy with that game.
Mm-hmm. Kenny, your thoughts on the tie system?
It needs to be fixed. Like you said, Carson, I like your idea with the college format. Maybe play them at the 40-yard line instead of the 25 and go from there, because of kickers being able to kick 70-yard field goals these days. But we got to see what would have been, in my opinion, a top 5 game this year, ruined because of a tie. I'd rather see a winner and a loser than that ending. And it was just flat. It ruined the excitement of the game. What drives me crazy about the overtime rule, and I'll take a second on this, is 10 minutes. If you're giving both teams a chance to score in overtime and only allowing 10 minutes, you're going to see, and I'm calling it right now, we're going into week 5 and we already have a tie. We almost had a tie in the Giants-Cowboys game. I don't know any other overtime games, but I'm going to guarantee that we see anywhere from 3 to 5 more ties this year because of this overtime rule. And then they're going to have to change it. And maybe they do adapt maybe to a college football style overtime where there's no ties in the future, because it's going to, as a fan, you want to see a winner and a loser. Players definitely want to, be on one side as well. A tie just takes everything away from the game, Carson. I just want to say hello to PA Scratcher guy. He says earlier with the helmet-to-helmet, Carson, I'd imagine it would lessen the shock of helmet-to-helmet contact and reduce the lifelong injuries. And then with the question you just had, he said, I've been wanting them to adopt the college format for overtime. Good to see you, PA.
That PA, yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, I agree with both you guys' thoughts on this. Quick little last segment, and then maybe if Kurt comes back, we can get his rapid fire thoughts in. Thursday Night Football, big game this week in the NFC West. You got the Niners and Rams. Both these teams are 3-1. This game is in LA. Who do you think has to win this game more for their division and for their playoff seeding hopeful futures alive in this game? 49ers still banged up with injuries. Purdy is back, but Kittle is still injured. I think they got a receiver that's also injured as well. So they're pretty beat up, but interesting matchup here. Who are you guys going to take in this game for Thursday night? Ryan.
Just to clarify the question, who are we taking, or who do we think has to win it more?
Yeah, I think who do you think has for the division? Who do you think needs to win this game more to win the division for the future of the season?
I would say the Rams, and I'm going to say the Rams because, like you said, the Niners are pretty beat up right now. Now the Niners are always going to be beat up because it's Kyle Shanahan's offense, but I think those guys coming back later, and they don't have the craziest schedule in the world on the season to begin with. I definitely would. I would say that it would be a bigger loss for the Rams than it would be for the Niners.
Gotcha. Kenny, who do you think has to win this game more for their division?
I'll say the 49ers because they're playing the underdog role in this division with all their injuries. And not saying the Rams don't need it because they can definitely use it too. But if I had to pick one of these two, because of those injuries and off to their hot start, they're up there. They can run. They can win this game with still some of those injuries. This is a big division game. When they get their guys back one by one, maybe they can take this division. So I'm going to say it's more important for the 49ers this early in the season.
For sure. Anything else, guys, for NFL?
Yeah, I got a couple, Carson.
Sure.
Kurt will be back, but so I do have the games of the week. Oh, he's back. Perfect time, Kurt. I'm going to answer Kurt.
Yeah. So, Kurt, rapid fire for my Carson Corner questions. Romeo Doubs, 3-touchdown game. He's wearing the helmet piece. Do you have a problem with that? Do you think it should be more mandatory going forward with all these injuries?
Kenny muted me. Kenny has to unmute me.
You're not muted.
I think we can hear you.
You hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, it says the mute was. It says the host muted your mic. Okay. Oh. I was on the phone with Optima. I'm going to go through the screen with them. But anyway, you know what? Like when you're asking about the foamy helmet thing.
Yeah. Like, do you like it? Do you think more players should wear it? Like, is it
you know what? I do. I don't have a problem with it. I really don't. Listen, I think they got to protect themselves, right? I mean, listen, if they feel more comfortable like that, I have no problem with that. I think that's fine.
Mm-hmm. The way the game ended, Kurt, on Sunday night, Packers and Cowboys in a tie. I suggested maybe in the future, Kenny alluded to possibly if it happens 2-3 more times where you're going to get 3 more tie football games, I think they're going to have to make a change. And I propose they do something like when college football, if it gets the second, third overtime, you exchange 2-point conversions. What do you think about the ties in the NFL?
You know, I'm going to say this. I heard Kenny talk during that, and I disagree because, listen, you're giving me 10 minutes to score, right? I mean, it's not like I don't have an opportunity, right? But then it's like we're going to be talking about the World Cup. What is it next year? And we're going to be like, this is ridiculous going into penalty. To me, that's not football, right? Like if I have a great defense, why am I putting you on the 25? Like you're not getting on the 25 with my great defense. So you know what? Sorry, hey, I take the tie. Honestly, I don't have a problem with it because it minimizes football, right? Like it's different where, okay, you automatically, you can kick and I don't know. I'm not a fan of that. I understand like you have to get to a final, but listen, at 10 minutes, hey, if you get the ball, Carson, and you don't score and I don't get the ball, I mean, that's on us. We didn't score. I mean, I don't know. I don't like it like that. I just, listen, we both had opportunities. I like it.
The only thing that frustrates me, and I know for a fact this is going to I guarantee you this is going to be determined by playoff seeding. It's going to come back to that tie, probably with the Packers. We'll see what happens if the Cowboys make the playoffs. With the Packers, I think they're on pace, and that tie is going to reflect a lot of weird rules for the seeding. So compared to if it was just a win or a loss, it'd be a lot easier to figure out. So, but yeah, we'll see what they do for the future.
You know what, Carson? I remember, I don't know if it was last year or a couple years ago, there was a team that had to get in the playoffs, but they would get in with a win or a tie. It might have been the Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
And they basically like got the ball with like 3 minutes left or whatever, and they just took a knee. They were just like, we're not going to fumble and turn this over. Mm-hmm. Just take a knee. They got the tie and they got in. And I don't know. I mean, there were people complaining, but listen, if that's what they could do, why not do it?
for sure. And then finally, Kurt, tomorrow night, Thursday night football, Rams and Niners. Who do you think has to win this game more to win the division later on in the season?
I mean, I think all the pressure's on the Rams now, right? You got no Brock Purdy, no Jennings, right? No Kittles, no Pearsall now. I mean, they're playing with like McCaffrey and Band-Aids going in there. So I think the Rams have to win this game. This is a must win for the Rams.
All right. Good stuff, guys.
All right. So Kurt came back perfect time. And so I got the 3 games of the week. 49ers Rams is definitely a game of the week, but we gave our thoughts on that. Not going to pick that one, but I'll give Carson an NFC matchup. I'll give him the Buccaneers at the Seahawks, 2 teams that we just talked about, the AFC West, Carson, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who gave Scoops' Eagles a nice little battle last week.
Yeah, Buccaneers are a damn good football team, man. They went toe-to-toe with the Eagles, 1 turnover away, and that game could have gone into overtime. So, Seahawks, though, I mean, they're looking impressive. I mean, they got a couple big wins. They're 3-1. They're at home. This is going to be pretty much, I think, a turnover battle. But Sam Darnold's looked nice so far with the Seahawks. But that's such a tough place to play on the road. Seattle, I believe, they are favored in this game -3.5. So I think I'll take the Bucs to cover the spread, but I like the Seahawks at home.
Yeah, I like your thoughts there, Carson, for sure. I'm going to go quick on the Monday night game, the Chiefs versus the Jaguars. Chiefs 2 in a row, Giants, and they beat a banged-up Ravens defense. Jaguars, one of the surprises this year. Monday night, I said it last week. I said it, going to say it again this week. Trevor Lawrence, it's time for you to start showing why you're the number 1 pick. You know what, Kurt? I'm going to make you happy. I'm going with the upset on Monday night. The Jaguars are going to beat the Chiefs. All right. My game of the week has Scoops versus Kurt. The Super Bowl champs, Philadelphia Eagles versus the up-and-coming Denver Broncos. Scoops, you're on top of the screen there. I'm gonna let you go first and tell us why the Eagles are gonna win, because I know you're gonna pick the Eagles just like I know Kurt's gonna pick the Broncos. So give us a reason why the Eagles are gonna win this game. Oh, you got to lower your volume. I think I'm getting back.
Me?
Oh, you're okay now. I think your mic might be too loud. Your volume.
My mic might be okay. I don't know what to do with about that, but no. So as I mentioned, I think it was on your show, Kenny, yesterday. Basically, I think this game comes down to the ability to generate pass rush and make Bo Nix uncomfortable. And I think that the Eagles learned at the end of the game against Tampa that they made that game way too close. It should have been over in the third quarter. And I think that they recognize now that they can't go in and let Bo Nix get comfortable behind the line that he has. I've talked about how the protection goes, kind of hand in hand with Phillies. And I think that's what it's going to come down to. I think that we're going to have a lot of Fonjo blitzes coming his way. I think we're going to get pressure to him early. And I think it's going to come down to that. I think it's going to come down to that disruption. And then for us, whatever it comes down to, if we have to put the ball in Hurts' hands, then we'll do that. And obviously we've got Saquon there if they're able to kind of limit the passing game.
Nice. Kurt, give me your key to victory to pull off the major upset on the road to beat the champs, Super Bowl champs.
Listen, this should be 4-0 versus 4-0. But hey, when you make mistakes and you do stupid stuff, you don't deserve to win. So we are where we are. Getting back to that now. Listen, this is the best football team in football. They're the Super Bowl champs. They do it the right way. They run it. They play defense. They tell their quarterback, make a couple plays. That's how you win. It's what they do. It's going to come down to stopping Saquon Barkley. If we can't stop Saquon Barkley, we have zero chance. If we stop it, listen, you got Surtain, you got Moss, we got guys who can cover, and it's going to come down to 2 things: Saquon Barkley, first and foremost, and stopping Jalen Hurts in any kind of scramble run game. If we can do that, we have a legit chance to win. I don't think we're going to win this game. I don't. I'm being realistic. This is a game I didn't have them winning. It's, again, you're in the NFL, you're going on the road. You're going into Philly. It's a tough place. It's an early game. It's an East Coast game. It's just
Short
there's
week.
a lot of short week. There's a lot of things against it. Can we win? Yeah. I mean, we're a Super Bowl contender, but I don't think we win this game. I don't like the matchup. I don't like Vance Joseph against this Eagles offense. So I'm going to go close game, but I'm going to take the Eagles.
Nice, guys. Well said by both of you. Hope we have a great game, as the game of the week. Scoops, who I'll be rooting for NFC East purposes, but I'm expecting a good game from both teams there. Anything else, NFL guys? And if not, we'll get into baseball. All right, Scoops, I'm going to pass it to you. We got a little What's the Scoop, Major League Baseball and wild card talk. Got about 20 minutes left in the show, Scoops, so just keep that in mind.
All right, sounds good. The first question is, Carson, I want to start this off by saying shout out to your Tigers for playing Cleveland tougher than I expected them to be honest. And that's I'll direct this one to Carson first, and then if the other two want to do rapid fire. But I particularly want to start with Carson on this. If the Tigers don't at least advance past the Cleveland round, we know about the blown lead and such. I know what a great history he has. Should AJ Hinch be on the hot seat if they don't at least win this series, and or should Scott Harris be prioritized in that regard?
Yeah, I think you can't really blame Hinch too much. I mean, he did what he was supposed to do, right? He got this team back into the postseason. The way he did it, though, was not really what fans wanted, considering the fact that we had a 15.5 game lead over the Guardians a month and a half ago, and that was just a total collapse on Hinch's management's point of view. But this team did win more games than they did last year. Yes, we went to the ALDS, and I'm hoping we can get a win tomorrow, but there's going to be a lot of questions asked towards our general manager in Scott Harris with the decisions he made, not really buying in a whole lot at the trade deadline. So I think it's more to blame on Scott Harris.
Yeah, that's where my mind went, but I wanted to get your opinion as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then, Kenny, do you have any sort of?
I was just going to, Carson said it at the end, and I was just going to say Harris, if anybody, not Hinch. Harris is the one to blame for this, for not doing anything at the deadline. Like he said, bolster the pitching, the bullpen, and, he could have made a couple small moves. He did nothing.
And Kurt, same question. Do you kind of follow suit with the other guys, or?
No, I'm sorry. When it comes down to it, you still lost a 15.5 game lead. I mean, how can you not blame a manager, a head coach, or, I mean, that's the guy that's in charge, right? So I'm sorry. Like I'm not going to, I'll be honest with you. I'm not going to go for the next round. If they get by the Guardians, that talk goes away, because then you're in that round. That's where you should have been anyway if you won the division. But if this cost you getting to that round, he's gone after tomorrow, because there has to be consequences, right? I mean, it's the biggest blown lead ever. Is that correct?
Yeah.
It's the biggest blown, right? You can't just accept it and okay, like it's unacceptable. They shouldn't even be playing. I mean, let me ask you something. Would they be playing, or would they have had a bye?
Well, currently they
would be still playing, right?
It would be in
field,
Detroit.
but they would have the home field.
It would be in Detroit.
They'd be in Detroit.
Yeah. But I'm sorry. They have to get to the next round. They have to get to the next round.
Mm-hmm.
And are you saying that for you, if they don't, that's just Hinch and you're keeping Harris, or both they're gone?
You know what? Listen, I'm big with. We'll get into Boone, Cashman, and the Mets with with both of those guys. But what I'm saying though is, listen. You had a 15.5 game lead. I mean, I don't know what else can management do. I mean, come on, like you had a 15 game. You got to stop that. As a coach, you're responsible for that. That's on you now. A 15.5 game lead. That's on the coach.
It's crazy. It's crazy because last year you had the biggest comeback,
right?
And this year you had the biggest collapse. It's crazy.
No,
it's crazy.
insane. And then, of course, with those of us on here, we got to talk about New York baseball a little bit. We're in the middle right now of Game 2 of the American League Wild Card Series. I'm still getting used to saying that phrase. We're in Game 2 of that right now. We also saw what happened with the New York Mets across town. Arguably, despite what we know has happened with the Yankees this year, arguably more disappointment for the New York Mets across town. Just handed out an $800 million contract, et cetera, and are not even playing in October. So, question that I have: they already have said that Carlos Mendoza is going to be back next season, and presumably by virtue of the lack of anything to the contrary, it appears David Stearns will be also. What do the Mets have to do this offseason to really, I wouldn't even say turn around, but kind of course correct? And can they do it with bringing back these two guys that just oversaw these last couple seasons? Kenny,
They can definitely turn it around, and it's one word: pitching, pitching, and you could turn this team around tomorrow. That's simple, rapid fire with the Mets for me. Pitching is all you need on this team, and they will be right in the playoffs next year.
agreed. Corson from across the other league.
Yeah, like Kenny was saying, it all starts with pitching and defensive players. And it just goes to show, too, how ridiculous the salary cap problem is in baseball. I mean, you gave this guy $700 million and you can't make the postseason. It just goes to show that one single human being is not responsible for the entire team's 162-game season success. So it's a huge problem. Salary caps have always been a problem in baseball. But like Kenny said, they get, an ace or two next year, they'll be fine.
That's a great segue into what I'm going to say next, but obviously I want to go to Kurt and get his opinion on this.
Stearns, listen, this is New York, right? This is New York. This is no joke, and you're spending a lot of money. Mendoza, I'm sorry. He's not coming back in my eyes. I'm sorry. You can't beat the Nationals. You can't beat Miami. That's just unacceptable. I'm sorry. It's unacceptable. How many games did they blow? It's just, everybody kept saying this weekend, Milwaukee's going to lay down. They're going to let it. Milwaukee didn't have to play on Sunday. They had everything wrapped up. They won. You couldn't beat 2 of 3 against Miami? I mean, you got to be joking. I'm sorry. Again, there's got to be consequences for that. But pitching, seriously, I'm calling up Pittsburgh and I'm saying, first and foremost, right, just give me the number you want on the check when we do make the trade, and you can take anything you want. My whole farm club is open to you. That's what I'm doing. They can't go get Carlos Rodons and say, there's that's not an ace. Go get an ace. You got the young guys that came up, but go get a legit stud pitcher. You got the offense. They'll always have that offense, but the starting pitching, they got to go do it. Go get a stud. I'm calling up Pittsburgh, whatever it is. Listen to me. Take my 6 best prospects. I don't care. Go get it. Go get a championship, and you can contend. But Mendoza, he's not coming back. No
just for clarity's sake, I'm assuming you're talking about trying to get Paul Skeens.
Yes.
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
Scoops, real quick, Scoops. Since we're on the Mets, Carson had a good question that he presented the other day to me in our group chat for K&K. I want him to rapid fire it for us. He's got a good question.
Yeah, thanks, Kenny. Yeah, just like 2 minutes or less. I wanted to hear your guys' thoughts on this. The Miami Marlins, they were playing a baseball game the other day, and they ended up winning the game, which ended up costing the Mets to get out of the postseason. And the Mets broadcasters were livid because the Miami Marlins were celebrating on the field like they won the World Series, even though the Marlins were one of the worst teams in baseball this year. So do you guys have a problem? Is it a reasonable reaction from the Mets broadcasters to say, what are you guys doing celebrating like you won the World Series by knocking us out of the playoffs? Are you on the Marlins side, the Mets side? Did you guys hear about that? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, Scoops, what do you think?
I mean, I don't have a problem with it. I think it's dumb. I again, it shows you where your franchise is. It shows you that your franchise was a joke under Jeffrey Loria. It shows you that you guys got bamboozled by letting Bruce Sherman take over, and you thought he was going to be more serious and more opening up the books and one thing or another. But then you lost Kim Eng and Derek Jeter, both of whom wanted to run it that way because Bruce Sherman has been no less of a penny pincher than Jeffrey Loria was, the same guy who was at the center of the Montreal Expos saga 20 years ago. So no, I don't have a quote unquote problem with it, as in like a get off my lawn type of thing. But I think it's dumb. I think it shows the fact that people say oh, this is their World Series, this is their basically that phrase applied to the Marlins here, and and it just goes to show. I mean, the Marlins started Alcantara in a game because it was more important to them to beat the Mets than it was for them to actually make the playoffs. To me, that was more disgusting than anything that they did to celebrate on the field that day.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. Kurt, do you have a problem with the Marlins celebrating on this?
No, because you know how you stop. You know how you stop it. Beat them.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
think about it. If you beat them, they're not. I mean, if they celebrate after you beat them, then it's a problem. But they're not going to do that because. Listen, they knocked them out. The Mets had everything to gain. I have no problem with that. Shame on the Mets. That should have been a 3-game sweep with that pressure on that. With the pressure on, with all the money you're making to lose to them, that's on the Mets. I have no problem with it at all.
Mm-hmm. Kenny,
let me ask the three of you a rapid fire question: yes or no? Carson, Michigan State beats Michigan late in the season. 3 wins for Michigan State. They knocked Michigan out of the playoffs. Are you celebrating?
Oh, for sure, 1,000%.
Yes, exactly. Kurt, Broncos beat the Chiefs, knocked the Chiefs out of the playoffs. You celebrating?
Yeah, absolutely.
Scoop, Yankees knocked the Red Sox out of the playoffs. Are you celebrating?
I genuinely don't know. I genuinely don't know.
All right. I would 100% celebrate. I have no problem with the Marlins. 1, like Kurt said, beat the Mets, but 2, you're a rival team. And good for the Marlins pitching Alcantara. Reds got in because they tried hard. Good for the Marlins. I couldn't name 3 other players on the Marlins. Good for the Marlins.
Can I respond for 5 seconds? My point there was that they actually still had a chance to make the playoffs, and they used Alcantara to try and beat the Mets instead. That was my problem.
All right. I get your problem, but I'm not. The Mets have the announcers have no reason to complain.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, give me a break. You're just upset because you had one of the biggest collapses. Carson, all due respect, if it wasn't for the Tigers, we'd be on here screaming about the Mets having the biggest collapse ever.
No, for sure, 100%. It's funny you say that too, Kenny, because I don't know if you guys remember Sunday Night Football a couple years ago. This was Aaron Rodgers' last game as a Packer, by the way. Lions, they had an opportunity. They needed Seattle to win. They lost. I'm sorry. I think it was the Rams. The Rams needed to beat the Seahawks to win, and then the Lions had to beat the Packers to get in for the final spot. And the Lions were eliminated by default. And so the fan base was like, well, we lost. We're out of the playoffs. Like, what does this game even matter? And then the Lions said, F that. Let's go ruin the Packers' night, and let's go spoil their night out of the playoffs. Yeah. So, you take your little victories any way you can given the situation.
Yep. Juan Soto makes more money in 1 year than the whole Marlins roster. Good for the Marlins for celebrating. They're good question, Carson. Scoops, back to you. We got about 8 to 10 minutes because Carson's got to be off by 8:30, and we got other stuff going on. So
right on.
We'll move these questions a little faster here.
Right on. So, I mean, I just asked about the Mets. I have to now cross town and ask about the Yankees. From your perspectives, Kenny is a Yankees fan, Carson as a outside perspective, and Kurt, I don't really know how to align you as a baseball person, but just from all your vantage points respectively, how far do the Yankees have to get this postseason to justify what I think is going to happen, and that's running back the same guys? How far do we have to get for that to feel justified in your mind, Kenny?
They have to get to the World Series. You got the MVP on your team, and every year he's the MVP. Postseason, it disappears. MVP of the team. You got an ace in Freed. You got all of these players. It's time. You need to get to the World Series. Saw mistakes yesterday, in my opinion, from Boone. He got into the analytics too much, but I'm not going to get into that now because we're running short on time. Definitely has to get to the World Series. Doesn't have to win, but he needs to represent the American League again in the World Series.
Makes sense. Fair. Corson.
I would say the ALCS only because you don't have Juan Soto this year, and he was, arguably right there with Judge with your best player. So I would say the ALCS. Now, again, I'm like you said, I'm a different outside person looking in. The Yankees are, arguably the biggest franchise ever in MLB history. So, I think there's a lot of expectations. There's a big payroll. It's the Yankees. So, but again, to me, like you lose one of your best players. I don't know if the expectations should go up or go down. So, I think definitely ALCS though, for sure.
Before Kurt goes, grab your cocktails, everybody, because this could be maybe a classic.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, Kurt, I don't need to say anything else. Just do your thing.
No, it's not going to be. Listen, I mean, it's reality, right? You went to the World Series last year. You went through, I mean, a weak American League. The American League's better this year, but listen, you have to get there, and you have to perform better. It was 4-1 last year, right? They won one game.
One
game, right? One game. The first game debacle, taking them out, and all that stuff. You have to go further. If it's not, I'm cleaning both of them out. It's just yesterday was just an absolute disgrace to the organization. It's just an absolute disgrace. I mean, you're sitting there and it's just and then you're watching across, in the other dugout, just the manager. When you're talking about, was it stealing your lunch money? He just steals Boone's lunch money, and their pitcher can just go in and go another. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke. The mandate will be, I want you in the World Series, and you at least the World Series, and you have to get further, or I'm cleaning out. The whole office gets cleaned out. That's it, because it's just again and again. It's just nothing changed. Listen, remember we said, you're sitting guys on the guys that Chisholm didn't play. You just made a great deal with Colorado. He's not playing, and yesterday, strikeout after strike. It's the same movie. It's like watching Police Academy. You know what's going to happen. Police Academy 12. What's going to happen? The good guys are going to. It's the same garbage. It's clean it out. It doesn't work. Clean it out.
Scoops, give us pick your two best questions. If we got time for a third, we'll do a third. But I think we definitely got time for two more. So pick your two best questions you got for us at least.
Okay. If your team needed a manager, regardless of situation, your team needs a manager tomorrow. Can't pick anybody who's currently employed by a currently employed manager. Who are you hiring for your respective team, Kenny?
Okay, so somebody who's not managing right now, so no trades. You're saying, right? So somebody.
Yeah, no, especially because trades are.
My guy. He hasn't really had a chance. He had a chance in the World Baseball Classic, and that's Mark DeRosa. I love how he teaches on Major League Baseball now. He shows you fundamentals when he's over there, and I just think he would play a lot of small ball, and he would know. He would add small ball to the Yankees, which they don't have, and I think that's big. And then the pitching, I think, would come around, but I think he would be very, enthusiastic about small ball and defense. So I think that would be a good move to bring him in as a manager.
That's where I expected you to go, but I wanted to see Carson.
Yeah, I mean, I know he's getting up there in age, and he's not. I think he kind of retired from baseball, but as a guy watching him throughout my life growing up, just the genuine human being that he was, and the success he had with multiple teams. I think Dusty Baker would be fun to kind of give it a shot for a year with the Tigers to coach this young squad. So I'd say Dusty Baker.
Interesting. I don't know why I thought you were going to say Jim Leyland. Kurt.
Yeah. See, I'm going to answer this as a Yankee and a Met. I'll answer it both ways. Okay. I think the Mets need a no BS kind of guy, right? Like, I know, you're going to say it can never be like Buck Showalter. I want a guy like that with the Mets because it was like kind of like a circus a little bit with them over there, right? So, but I'm going to get to the Yankees. And
what about Joe Girardi for the Mets?
Yes, absolutely.
Sorry, I didn't mean to take
100%.
your thunder.
No BS. This is what it's going to be. But I'm gonna channel Joey Clams on this one.
Oh boy.
The Yankees need seriously. The Yankees again. The whole front office is gone. First guy I'm asking, and again, he's probably going to say no. Derek Jeter, you want to be a manager? Because they need somebody where I don't want to hear the nerd, that's the no more computers, none of that garbage. We're going to be realistic. Like I saw today, somebody put on an Instagram what Aaron Boone should have did yesterday. And they just had a picture of Joe Torre like this, Kenny. Remember we saw Kenny, he was just like this in the dugout.
Yep.
And they said, that's what he should have did. Well, somebody said, well, what was he doing? Nothing. Just let the pitcher go. Rivera, let's go. That's what it should have been yesterday. Give me your closer, right? Free to the closer, done. Give me Jeter, Mattingly. It has to be a Yankee. It has to be what happened with George and what would happen if something like this goes awry. That's what you need. You need a Yankee in there. So Jeter, Mattingly. I'll tell you the best guy. He would never get the job. But I'll tell you this. You guys are going to go off your mind. Watch Fox Sports. Alex Rodriguez. He don't play. He'll tell you straight up. That's why the Yankees don't win. Batting average don't matter. That's why they haven't won in whatever it is, how many years. He don't BS you. He knows the game. I want a Yankee has to be in that dugout next year. Mattingly, Jeter, that's what has to be in there.
What about Posada? Since you're saying Yankee.
I would do Posada would be fourth out of that list, but I would do Posada, yes. But Posada with a new general manager. That whole office gets cleared out.
Scoops, let's do this. You got one more question, but go to Carson first, then we're going to get Carson's final thoughts because he has to go, and then if we go a minute or two overtime, we'll hang out.
Kurt actually set me up perfectly for my last question. So, ever since we found out that both Ray Montgomery and Ron Washington were not going to be back in Anaheim, almost immediately we've heard that it seems likely that it's going to be Albert Pujols taking over as the new Angels manager, either that or Torrey Hunter. And I guess my question is, what do you think of this sort of new age where, it's first-time managers, no coaching experience? This is becoming, for a while, Boone was the aberration. Now he's becoming part of the norm, where in terms of hiring guys with, no coaching experiences who were former players for that organization. What's your analysis on that? It's kind of a broad question, but what's your take on that? Do you like it? Do you not, etc.?
Yeah, no, I think, there's instances where it's panned out before in the past where you get a guy who's played in the majors and that's his experience. He wasn't a coach, he was a player, and then his first job was a general manager. There wasn't like an assistant coach. There wasn't like, some weird water boy connection working up the system, eventual management role. So, it's panned out. We've seen it before where it's crashed and burned in the past, and we've seen it before with guys like Stephen Vogt with the Cleveland Guardians, who won the Manager of the Year last year, and he was a first-time manager, had no previous management experience. So I like it. Give the guys the shot, and what better coach if the guy understands the game? The players, I think, are going to have more of a personal connection and respect because they've actually done it as a player rather than a guy who just has coached it but hasn't really been a player himself.
And Carson,
thanks, Carson.
Final thoughts. I know you got to go, and then we'll answer the question.
Yeah, go Tigers tomorrow. Must win, sudden death. And, enjoy the rest of your show, guys, and have a good night. Good talking to you guys.
Take care, Carson. We'll see you next week. Enjoy your game.
Good to see you.
For sure. See you guys. Peace.
Good luck.
See you later, Carson.
All right, Scoops, we got a couple minutes. We can answer the question, and then we'll get our final thoughts in as well.
Sounds good, Kenny.
Go ahead. You want me to go?
Yeah.
I like it too. In basketball, we saw, stars, all-stars, coach. Jason Kidd is out there coaching. Isaiah Thomas in the past coaching. So Good for that. I want to see the star players, the Hall of Famers, do more when they're out of baseball, and it'd be good to see Albert Pujols get a shot.
Yeah.
And what better place, in my opinion, than a smaller market that doesn't have high expectations to get to a World Series? It's not going to the Yankees. It's not going to the Mets. Maybe the Tigers, like we said, if A.J. Hinch gets fired, where expectations are playoffs. Anaheim's in rebuild right now, so Albert Pujols gets his feet wet if they bring in Albert Pujols, and I love it. It's good for the baseball if Albert Pujols is involved in baseball in some sense.
Excuse me.
Oh wait, and
Appreciate
Jody Moncrief. Mets need Bruce Bochy, and they need someone who cares more about baseball than his watch band color. Throwing a jab out there at Aaron Boone.
I don't think Bochy's a bad fit for the Mets at all. I just think he's going to end up back in San Francisco in some capacity. Kurt, go ahead.
Kenny, I have always said this, right? I'm going to go to answers. I got to go on the football side. Who knows more about football, Kenny? George Payton or John Elway?
John Elway.
Okay. So who would you want running your organization? John Elway or George Payton?
John Elway.
Okay. So same thing with baseball, right? Like I want somebody that's been there, that's done that. Like, what is Brian Cashman or even Stearns going to tell me? Like, he knows more they know more baseball than A-Rod? I mean, it's just, think about it. It's stupid. Think about it. It's stupid, right? I mean, I'm not going to sit there and say a coach, like you have a Belichick and he never played. Like, listen, I'm not going to say there's like exceptions to that, but you got to be joking me where there should be. And again, the Yankees are a different animal, right? Like that Yankee tradition, what's acceptable, what's not. Like, you had, like you're saying, people jogging, up and down, like Gleyber Torres should, like, listen to me. You think Gleyber Torres is doing that on George Steinbrenner's team? Seriously, that would never happen. He'd be gone. Just like the New England Patriot guys. They go to a meeting at 8 o'clock, 8:06, they're cut. Like, it's discipline. It's a circus. It's a circus with the Yankees. It's why they haven't won. And it's management and it's the manager. They just let them do what they want. There's no, yesterday, Jazz Chisholm, I'm turning around in the locker. It's a free-for-all. That stuff matters.
That pissed me off so much.
There's no discipline. There's he should have turned around and said, you know what? You're done for this series. We'll see how you act. If we win, we get to the next round. We'll see how it is.
Always said Joe Torre was great at that. What did A-Rod wasn't hitting in the playoffs? He batted him all the way down to 8. And that's A-Rod. Okay. Aaron Judge last year wasn't hitting. Move him down a couple spots. He's still not hitting. Move him down a couple more. Who doesn't do that?
Listen, sports is such a battlefield. You can never look, first of all, you can never look at any kind of stat and say, this guy got 3 people out. You can never look at it. You go to Max Fried. You want to go? You're in. If he says, you take him out. But you don't make that call. We all coached here. You don't make that call.
He said he had more, just so you know. He said he had more in the
Exactly.
Yeah, I saw that afterward.
It's the same thing with football. I don't care. Scoops, if you're the Philadelphia Eagles, okay? Just think about this. You're the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah.
And you're playing the Denver Broncos, and the Denver Broncos, this isn't a true stat, but I'm just going to throw this at you.
Yeah. Okay.
The Denver Broncos on 4th downs defensively, they're 12 for 12. They've stopped everybody on 4th down. You're in a 4th and 1. You running tush push against them?
You're saying that you've stopped at 12 out of 12?
12 out of 12. Are you guys running tush push? I am.
Who you stopped it against?
Doesn't matter.
Well, see, that's the thing.
Why does it matter? All right, you know what? Here, you know what? We stopped it against Green Bay, Kansas City, Buffalo, and Baltimore. I'm still running tush push because I decide. I tell you, I don't care what you did. I'm the best team in football. Nobody stops me. I'm doing it. I don't care what they did. What does that matter? Seriously,
Well,
what does it matter?
Well, the issue that I'm just drawing with the comparison is the fact that what happened yesterday, you got 30 teams that got at least comparable things. There's not another team with a play like the tush push to compare it to. That's the thing.
But I'm saying it does. You go and you know what? You go down with your gut because listen, if my managerial career is going down, I'm going down with Max Fried before I put in Weaver. Like that's my point.
I do agree with that. I will say the issue that I actually had last night, I get the Fried issue. I could go either way on that. But the issue that I did have last night was, later on with the whole, bringing in, Jazz late and one thing or another. And then you load the bases in the ninth and you can't get one runner in with, bases loaded and no outs. So the issues that I really had with the way the game was managed was later in the game with Jazz and company. The Fried thing, I saw the reason to take. The Yankees turned 3 double plays against the Boston Red Sox in game 2. Thank you, Mr. Ronquillo. I had to turn the game off because of the feedback, so I don't know what's happened in the last hour. But yeah, so not entirely gonna disagree with you there, but I'm just saying that I had more issues with what happened later in the game.
Kenny, can I get 20 seconds for one thing?
Yeah,
Here's the thing, right?
We got overtime tonight.
Like, here's the thing, right? You look at a guy like Anthony Volpe, right? Anthony Volpe, like, has to be, like, not even, like, explained, told. Listen, enough. You're not a home run hitter. Okay, what we need from you is a 290, 300 hitter, 60, 70 stolen bases. We want to bat you 1 or 2. You got to get on base. Listen, 12 home runs. You're not a home. He's going up there on the home.
I agree with you.
Yesterday, that's not what you needed. Like seriously, you needed him to get on base, steal. I agree with you. And same thing with like Chisholm. Like those guys, like it's got to be like that. Listen, if you continue to do it, I'm sending you to Chicago White Sox. That's it. Like I'm not trying to be funny. But,
am I touching something because this thing keeps moving around?
Oh no, it's me. I was changing the graphics.
Am I wrong? Like that's what it has to be. You got Judge and Stanton to do that. We're not doing that 1 through 9. We're not doing that anymore.
I agree with you. And one of the things I've said on WTS multiple times this year is where the Astros and Dodgers and Braves, like the teams that have won in the last couple of years, like gone all the way that's where they outdo the Yankees. The Yankees have tried, and I see this happening in the minor leagues all the way up. So that's why I don't put it on Boone as much, because this is starting way down in the minor leagues. It's an organizational problem, not just an Aaron Boone problem. Is these guys are being basically taught the same approach. But every player has a different physique, has a different skill set, has a different scouting report. You should develop these guys up to their strengths and to be that for your team, not to try and we're going to try and make everybody have no weaknesses instead of trying to maximize their strengths. That I think is where their biggest differentiator is that's hurting them.
Kurt, Michael Ronquillo on board with us. Aaron Boone is a joke.
I mean, again, it's just that it is. I thought about this today watching the game, like driving. And I said, I know Kenny's going to ask me something, and Scoop's going to ask me something. I equate this to football. Like, remember Kenny? Scoops is maybe a little young, but the run and shoot, right? The Lions.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Right? Like, look what we do. We score. But it doesn't work. It's never going to work, especially in the postseason. Now, in the regular season, you might play another bad team. Oh, we put up 58 points. But it don't matter. Like, the Yankees going, like, saying, oh, well, but over 90 games. That doesn't matter. They're playing junk. The White Sox. Look at all the teams that stink in the American League. The A's. Like, come on. You don't look at that. Look at what you do versus the good teams, right? Like, that's like college football. The Miami Hurricanes can't be like, okay, we beat South Florida. This team. What did you guys do versus Clemson? What did you do? That's how you got to prepare for those teams. You don't prepare for the garbage teams. But like, that's what I'm like, Volpe. I'm sorry, I'm sitting them down. If you're not hitting in the 280s to 300s, we're sending you somewhere else. You're not going to be a home run hitter. You're benched. That's it.
Here's my issue with the Yankees, and I'll do my 2 cents real quick. we untouchable players in the minor leagues.
Yes.
Untouchable for years. Untouchables, and I'll just go and name a couple of guys. Clint Frazier, untouchable, and Davey Garcia, untouchable, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Jason Dominguez, Godzilla, he's the best player since Mickey Mantle the Yankees got. He's not even on the field. Next one, Spencer Jones, untouchable. Why? George Lombard, untouchable. You probably could have got Tariq Skubal last year. We won't know because that, we'll never know. But the Tigers were selling last year. And I bet you Tariq Skubal was one of those names that the Yankees could have had. And just imagine Tariq Skubal on this pitching staff with Garrett Cole's hurt, but Max Fried, Garrett Cole, Carlos Rodon, Luis Gil. That's
Kenny,
not a World Series rotation?
Real quick before we go, I'm gonna up the ante to you, and then I'm gonna end it with scoops. I mentioned the Knicks. I mentioned the Mets, right? So I just mentioned the Mets. I'm telling you right now, if he is available next year, you have Cole, you have Fried under contract, right? You still have Rodon. I'm calling up Pittsburgh, and I'm telling you right now. You ready? You could have Volpe, Lombard, Jones. Take them.
Dominguez.
Take Dominguez. Take them. All four. Take them. Because you know what? When it comes down to this time in the postseason and you can throw out Skeens, Cole, and Fried, you're the favorite. You're the favorite to win the World Series because that's how it's won. Yeah, that's how it's won. And
I agree.
I don't want to care, but in 2030, I don't care about 2031.
Well, George Lombard's going to be untouchable.
Nobody cares
that's
about
the problem.
2031. 2031 doesn't happen if 2026 doesn't happen. See, that's the problem. I don't care. And I argue this scoops with the Bronco people all the time. Yeah, well, I don't want to trade. It doesn't. Let me ask you something. How many teams, Scoops, you're the baseball guy. How many teams have won back-to-back or 2 out of 3 World Series in the past 10 years?
In the past 10 years, 2. Going back to the very beginning of the last decade, it was the Giants. And then Houston did it a couple years ago. Okay,
Houston won how many World Series?
Houston won 2. Excuse me, 2.
They won 2, right?
Yeah, and actually, the Dodgers would have been a better example for the last 5 years. So we'll say the Dodgers instead.
Okay, but I'm saying even the Astros. Would you? I don't know. Maybe like in the past 10 or 15 years, like the Astros. Look at this Astro roster; it's loaded. How many World Series do they have?
2.
Okay. The Braves, Glavine, Smoltz, all those guys. How many championships do they have? 1, right?
From that team 1, and then they won another one a couple years ago.
Okay, Dodgers. What do they have now with this whole group?
Like this current group, they have 2, but then they won a couple earlier in the history.
So that's my point. Like, it's not going to happen where people are like, you're not going to have the 90s Yankees. Like, that's not going to happen.
Exactly.
It's not going to happen, and it's okay that it doesn't happen.
Right.
Like, that's fine. But it's like, we got to win. Who cares? Go get one, and then just readjust on the fly.
Exactly. Yeah.
I got a different example really quick. And, whenever you want to wrap it up, wrap it up. Kurt mentioned that a lot of Bronco fans don't want to trade. Is Howie Roseman worried about trade, Scoops?
No.
The 2 most important things, right, in football is get your quarterback. You got your quarterback, Jalen Hurts, and your offensive line. And then everywhere else, you in your offensive line, you get through trades, built through the draft, free agency. You think Howie Roseman's worrying about that? Spending money? No. Saquon Barkley bringing them over, Jalen Carter, all these other guys are making trades. A.J. Brown, did he worried about giving up a first-round pick?
No.
But Kenny,
I've seen him do it time and
2
again.
Super Bowls, right?
He shouldn't. And think about it. You're in a Super Bowl window now, right? You got Saquon Barkley, who, again, listen, it's a running back league. He is going to get older, but listen, he's in the prime of his career, right? You got Jalen Hurts. You got a sick defense, unbelievable defense, great defensive coordinator in Fangio. You have everything. Who cares about 4 years down the road? Your window is now. Yeah, you're not going to win 4 Super Bowls in a row, but listen, if you get another one in the next 4 years, that's like a little mini dynasty. Like, that's what you got to do. Who cares? Well, what are we going to do in 2030? Who cares?
Cares.
Seriously, who cares?
2030, Kurt will
cares?
be completely bald and
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
and he'll be more senile than ever.
But
Oh, God.
think about it. But who cares? Like,
No, yeah.
I gotta hold on to these draft picks. Like, it's
Thanks for the update, Michael.
Yeah, 4-3. You gotta win. You gotta win one before you could win 6.
Absolutely.
You gotta win one.
Absolutely.
It just so don't worry. Like you said, if you could go get listen, if you can go get the best pitcher in baseball, I don't care what it costs.
That's
One
the
more.
thing.
Let's do. I got a
Yeah.
baseball analysis for you.
I don't-
Are the Dodgers worried about it?
No.
Wait, I didn't hear what you said.
Are the Dodgers worried about
Nope.
Next year with their minor league system?
No.
No.
No. Well,
They
I'm
give
sorry.
up
I was trying to
everybody
pause
that they.
for a second. Sorry.
Oh no. I was just saying that we're just going on about the Dodgers and Eagles.
The thing that I'll and this is not like I'm not disagreeing per se. I'm adding on to this is that in MLB you've got these 5-6 levels of minor league systems, and rookies are not playing typically day one. They're playing it after 2 or 3 years. And my point in saying this is just that the amount of projection that happens there, I think it's even harder there to kind of make a determination. And because the Yankees farm system the last 10 years, whatever is going on in their player development, and that's why I said before the player development has really had a lot of concern for me the last 10 years or so. So that I think is a major differentiator as well. And I'm only saying that to make the point that you know a lot less about what you're trading and what you're trading for when it comes to major league farm systems versus the NFL, because again, the guys are not taking the field week one usually.
Kurt, let's do this. Let's get our final thoughts.
Patrick
But
saying,
before that,
what's up, Patrick?
Patrick saying aloha, and up there in the top left corner of our screen, you can see little logo of Lion Coffee. Patrick is out there in Hawaii with Lion Coffee, and he's gracious enough to supply us over here at the K&K Sports Show with coffee. And Kurt and Jen are sister show, I guess you would call it, our other show on our network, High School Sports Show. Patrick's gracious enough, go on Lion Coffee's website, type in the code Patrick10, and you can get 10% off on any of your Lion Coffee products that is on the store. Thank you, Patrick. Hope doing well out there in Hawaii, and I'm sure it's a beautiful day out there in aloha, like Kurt said. So let's get our final thoughts in, Kurt. And if Kurt's able to hang around for, maybe another 45 minutes, an hour after we go off, we got Let's Talk Broncos tonight. Kurt, I'm going to let you go first.
Show tonight. My final thoughts, guys. Great show, Scoops. Great to have you aboard.
Thank you so much for having me on.
I want to give you a great shout out. You guys, I always jump in to watch you guys. You guys do a great job, you three, when you guys do your What's the Scoop. I like getting under your skin a little bit, all you guys. So I do love it. But no, you guys, listen, you guys do a great job on there. Please check them out. They do a great job. And listen, I'm just, you know what? It's again, people can't get, like my Denver Bronco Roundup fan. Oh, well, if we don't win in Philly, listen. Odds are you're not going to win in Philly. They're champs. You're on the road.
Your must win. Your must win was against Cincy.
Right, you got to be realistic. We're not going to go now 15-2. That's not going to. The Eagles aren't going to go 15-2.
Right.
It's not going to happen. The Eagles are going to go somewhere on the road and get blasted.
And somebody will catch them sleeping. That's what's going to happen.
Listen, Eagles might go to the Giants, and Dart might go. Listen, it could happen, and that's fine. You can't. Oh, look what they did.
Oh God, the Eagles aren't going to win now because they lost the game. That's stupid.
No, you can't do that. What's an issue is like the Baltimore Ravens. That's an issue.
That's an issue.
They can't stop anybody. You ain't winning like that. You're not
issue.
winning like that. But hey, I'm excited. Sunday, I want to give a shout out. Scoops, you don't know her, but Kenny, I want to give you a shout out. I'm going to have to watch the game on this for the first half on Sunday because we have to go to my sister Jody got inducted into the Kane University Hall of Fame, Kenny.
Nice.
And she's the head tennis coach there now, but she has the most wins ever as a tennis player at Kane University. So,
awesome. That's great. Congratulations,
But
Joey.
no, hey, I'm excited. It's going to be a big challenge. And Kenny, tomorrow, I don't know what you're doing around 12 o'clock tomorrow, but we got a little preseason basketball. The Knicks are in. What is it?
Abu Dubai.
Abu Dubai, Abu Dhabi,
Abu
whatever
Dhabi,
you want to say. They're there. And now, Kenny, 21 nights away from tonight. Opening night, baby. Let's
Be
go.
the season. Let's go.
Scoops, final thoughts.
Well, again, just
Oh, wait, Scoops, before you get your final thoughts, I do have to continue what Kurt was talking about, the Denver Bronco Roundup guys, but Scoops is all over the place, Kurt. He's got What's the Scoop? He's on this show. He's on that show. A couple weeks ago, I'm at work, and
I know where you're
Facebook,
going. I know where you're going.
And I see Ryan Scoop Woodhams is on a show, and I was like, I see Bobby Blackjack and Ryan Scoop Woodhams posting it's a Seton Hall show. And all of a sudden, I look, and I'm listening for a couple minutes, and all of a sudden, here comes Kurt Valenti trolling a Seton Hall podcast.
I went
and
off
destroying them about St. John's, and St. John's is the crosstown rival for those who don't know college basketball as well. Seton Hall's in New Jersey. St. John's is in New York City. Kurt's the St. John's fan. On a panel in the chat, trolling a panel of 5-6 alumni from Seton Hall and former players.
Kenny, I had the one guy, Scoop, so fired up. I don't even know. He was calling me like Kenny. I don't know what he was calling me. Dan. I don't know. He wasn't calling me Kurt. He was so, I had those guys so riled up. They were talking about
that had to have been Nick
Romano. Oh, that was so great, though. That was so good. I said, I'm jumping on this. I'm jumping on this. Yeah.
But thanks, Scoops. I'll let you take your final thoughts, and now I just wanted to get that story out. But like Kurt said, thank you for coming on tonight with us.
Again, thanks both of y'all for having me back on. Thanks again, Carson. It was good to see him for a while. And I'm looking forward to seeing how the postseason goes, seeing how the rest of the football season goes. And it's just one game at a time, one inning or quarter at a time, depending on the the sport, obviously. But we'll see. I'm going to go back, and hopefully this game 2 turns into a game 3 tomorrow. But you got to manage with urgency, like we've all seen, and in order to get to tomorrow, you got to get through tonight.
Absolutely. Enjoy this, whatever sports you're rooting for. If you're rooting for your teams in baseball, football, got a good week of NFL football, college football. Kurt and Scoops will be at it. Broncos versus Phillies, the game of the week, in my opinion. Some other good ones on the slate, but my Giants, I didn't mention them. Jackson Dart, it's time to see what he's got. Let's see if last week wasn't a fluke. First road game, let's get a win. Do what you do on defense, and 2-3. Maybe we gain a little momentum and we get a little excitement in Giants land. So, till then,
Kenny, real quick, I got one more rapid fire.
All right.
Because I asked you, but I'm going to ask you again. But I've never really, I don't think, asked Scoops live, and I want to get his answer. So, if you guys can have, diehard Bronco fan, diehard Auburn, St. John's, and Knicks. Yeah. If I could see one more team, if they said to me only one of your teams is ever going to win one more championship, I'm picking. I want to see the Knicks. I've never seen it. I've seen St. John's get to a Final Four, seen an Auburn national championship, seen 3 Broncos Super Bowls. I've just never witnessed in this town. I've come close a Knicks championship, so I'm picking the Knicks championship.
I'll go real quick.
Okay, go ahead, Kenny.
Scoops doesn't know. Mine's Knicks because of this guy right here.
What are you pointing to?
I can't see.
I can't see anything, man.
Because it's the only. I've seen the Yankees. I've seen the Giants. The Knicks. Never seen them win a championship, but it's also the only team that Kurt and I root for.
True. That's true.
And Jenny Hoops too. Just the 3 of us. I would be up in New Jersey and we would be watching that game, that clinching game, and probably end up in New York City at the Garden.
Yeah.
And we're definitely at the parade. So that's what I want to see.
Scoops, what about you?
Don't say Pelicans.
Yeah.
This kind of feels like an easy one. Like, yes, I've technically been alive for 2 of their rings, but the last one I was 9 years old and I barely remember it. So I'd throw the Yankees as the team. But if you're gonna ask me to pick a team that I've never even been alive for them to win, let's go with let's go with my Seton Hall Pirates, my college basketball Just again, having been there, really.
All right, just answer that next. That's not happening. So
And then Kirk could be the special guest that
Yeah,
day, right
yeah.
in the middle. He
No,
could be the
but
troll
not-
right in the middle
No,
of the
no, no,
panel.
no. But Scoops, if you had to pick only one, you're only going to see one more. Who are you picking? The Yankees?
Go Yankees. Scoops,
Yeah,
you know.
Yankees. Yeah,
Okay. Is it close to the Eagles or no?
close to the Eagle. I mean, it's close, but just because.
Oh, he's
Like,
going to see the Eagles win another one this year. So
Yeah,
it can't
that's
be
true.
the
He
Eagles.
might. He might. Yeah.
I'll put it this way: my favorite sport has always been baseball. But if you're asking me, like in general, teams, just the only thing that puts the Eagles above for me is just my personal connection to them. But yeah, I mean, I've been a Yankees fan for as long as I've been a fan of any team.
Okay. That's a good question, though, because listen, we have teams that we ride and die with them, and it's tough for me to say I want to see a Nick one more than another Broncos Super Bowl. Kenny, you know me. I mean, you know me and my Broncos. I mean, that's tough.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
all right, boys, great show.
Great show, guys.
Thank
Thank you, audience, for hanging out with us tonight.
Yeah, thank you, everyone.
There's a lot of sports going on, baseball, so appreciate you all hanging out with us. We think we got Let's Talk Broncos in a little while. If we could keep Kurt awake for a little while
Listen,
longer.
I'm tired, man.
But
Scoops, we did a
we'll
high
keep
school
it.
show last night, 2.5 hours.